Hi everyone, my name's Robin, and today I'm going to be talking about mine and my partner's first reptile, which would happen to be a cornsnake. So, me and my partner recently moved into our own apartment, which we've been planning to do for years, but obviously money is an iffy thing, especially in this economy. But recently we moved out with our two kittens at the time. They're still kittens, they're still very annoying, but they're very cute. Yeah. I'm so bad at this. Okay. When we were originally putting all the planning into moving out and, trying to organise all that, we both definitely knew we wanted snakes and plausibly some lizards in the future. We both watched a lot of snake bites religiously for a while. It was a bit sad, I suppose. We were looking into morphs all the time, what we'd need, trying to plan it out money-wise. And when we moved out, it was a bit of a shock how much everything cost in the first place. So it's just one of those things that got put on the back burner. That being said, we've only been moved out since December 16th, so it wasn't that long. And we went out originally not quite knowing what we wanted to buy. I always, in my heart of hearts, for the past 2 years, thought I was going to start with a ball python. They are easy beginner snakes, but it turns out corn snakes are actually easier, which I did always know, but they were very common, and I'd never really been around corn snakes, whereas I'd been around quite a few pythons in general, from coming around to school visits, from handling them in pet shops when I was planning everything out. I just think they're really cute. I think my corn snake's very cute too, don't get me wrong. But as it happened, we started looking around, and we were originally just going to come back with like a mouse or a hamster or something, because money was a bit tight. Sorry, that was my notes. And we didn't know really. We knew we wanted to bring something into our little family, but we didn't really think we'd be able to afford a reptile at this stage. As it happens, we could. For us, the snake himself, or herself, he's not actually sexed, but I refer to him as a he up until the point where he is sexed, and then I'm sure it's going to be awkward unless I'm right. And setup, which included a exoterraformarium, a habitat thermometer and habitat heat mat, a quite a large bag of substrate, really, a water bowl, snake himself. I think that was everything. Was just over 80 quid, maybe 70 quid, because we did buy him a hide separately, which was about 10 quid, but you can buy the exact same hide for £7.99 in a different shop, which slightly annoying, but I'm happy he had it from the get-go. Currently he is just in a faunarium. His original container that we bought him in was this little thing. This is the shop, Webb's Reptiles. He was $19.99, but with his setup he was $15.99. This is just a container used for large locust prepacks. He had some substrate in there and a little milk lid for a water bowl. But he was completely happy in there, don't get me wrong. They don't particularly like being in spaces that are too big for them. Because, in my head, I always thought you could just buy a large vivarium and just put a lot of hides in it and they'd be alright, but you kind of need to upgrade the vivarium as they grow. Which works out quite well money-wise, really. You have a lot of time to save that way, and we've already got his eventual 3-foot vivarium planned out. We're getting it from a friend. It's going to be about 50 quid, which is insanely good. So yeah, he came in that tiny pack, and he moved into his faunarium, which has his skull hide in, a water bowl, and that is, well, it has substrate in as well, don't get me wrong. And that is just on the shelves behind me, which I will show you in a little bit. So yeah, he's been with us for 5 days now. When we bought him, originally his feeding day was going to be the day after, but obviously because he's just moving in here, he's coming to a big new scary space. We've postponed his feeding until tomorrow, which will be Saturday the 21st, which is actually when I'm recording this technically. It's about 4 a.m. because I don't sleep, apparently. But for the first few days, he was really nervy. He didn't like loud sounds, which is completely understandable. After that point, we kept the cats out of the room because they can't see him, but they're just very noisy in general. And recently now he's just completely fine. He's handling fine. Obviously we won't be able to handle him soon because he will be being fed soon, and then we won't be able to handle him for 2 days after. But in general, he's doing really good. Our thermometer already came pre-set up for us, which was incredibly helpful. I'm the worst with technology. And I'll go into some care. It really doesn't take a lot. From what I've heard, you need to clean him about once a week. There's not particularly been a lot to clean right now. He hasn't been here a week, so but fed once a week. His feeding days are always going to be Saturdays, just because it's easier. Which starts tomorrow, and he is on pinkies, which are freezing in my fridge right now. It's incredibly weird, really. It's not if you own snakes, I suppose, but it's the first time I've ever had mice freezing in my... Like, I used to own mice, so it's a bit weird having baby mice frozen in my freezer. Which is also weird to say that I have a freezer, because obviously I've lived with my mum my entire life. Well, my mum and dad. I'm rambling. I'll shut up now. Okay, so... yeah, he doesn't particularly need any humidity. Well, more than that's in the house, really. Temperature already came preset, but he's apparently pretty much almost at room temperature. His thermostat auto-regulates, so there's a little sensor on the heat mat itself, and that will turn on and off the mat when it needs to be turned on and off. Saves electricity that way. It's pretty smart. He quite likes the warm side of his tank right now. I suppose it is winter, and it is absolutely freezing outside. But I'm going to shut up. And, but you can't just see a little faunarium behind me. Thought I'd left the lid open then. Had a heart attack. So, oh, sorry, standing up now. Awkward. Cutting all this out, apparently. So he is plausibly behind his hide right now, but you can see he's got his skull hide and his little water ball. It's completely simple. That's the heat mat there. I've got wires going behind. That little cactus is actually for another cornsnake we've got on the way when his faunarium arrives, which should be in a few days. He's going to arrive a lot later than that. Not a lot, but it's probably 1 or 2 weeks, something around that, which is all plugged in down at the bottom of the bookshelf. Quick word of advice, before and after handling hand gel. From the best of my understanding, it's just to prevent salmonella and such the like, but I'm going to set my camera back up on the table. I'm going to get him out for you all to see if he's cooperative. He's been really good all day with handling, but we'll see, I suppose. Catch in a sec. So, everybody, this is Astarot. He's going to be a little explorer now. So, obviously, he's really small. He's a little baby. He's still a bit nervous about some things. I'm a bit worried about the light, so I'm keeping it a bit turned away, which might be why I look like crap right now. When we were picking them at the pet shop, he had the most beautiful colouring, and he handled the nicest. As you can see, like, he's incredibly docile, and I suppose it might be easier to think that that is because he's scared, but he was like this at the pet shop. I didn't like that. He is just a bit jumpy, which is, he's not used to being handled fully yet, which is fair enough. He's only been... Ooh, what are you doing? But yeah, the first one we handled was incredibly jumpy. Please stop. Like he's being now, basically. So I don't think he likes the lights. I might just put it far down, which I know makes me look literally disgusting, but it might chill him out a bit, which would be helpful when you're trying to film a video. So yeah, he is incredibly tiny, incredibly well handled. It's a bit hard trying to multitask for me. Obviously he's my first snake, he's my partner's second snake technically, but his other one was when he was incredibly young. Well, not incredibly, but come on, buddy. No, I was supposed to go up my arm. You can probably see himself in the front camera and he's like, what the fuck, bro. But yeah, like I mentioned before, that little cactus is for another one we're getting. That's Ophion. He's already named. Once again, he's unsexed, so I'm just going off a whim with that. But he's an antheristic cornsnake, so he has all his red pigments removed. I'm incredibly excited because my partner basically... If you hear any crying or scratching, it's the cats at the door. My partner basically bought him and everything for him this time, whereas for Ophion, I have bought the snake and everything. So, as much as we count them both as our own pets, it's just a nice feeling. But he's really chill. We're handling him sort of like really short bursts right now. It's quite nice having the camera on so I can sort of see how long I'm taking. Oh, he's so speedy. Ooh. Might put him back in soon. He seems a little bit stressed out. Okay, buddy. You see yourself in the camera. Are you upset? He honestly only hates the camera, and yet currently all he wants to do is be near the camera. There we go. Is that better? I'll try and set some photos. I'm a really crap video editor. I'm a really crap video maker, so this... Astarot. I don't know if I said his name. This is Astarot. His name originates from the Prince of Hell in demonology. Intriguing. And you're living up to that name right now, aren't you, my little bud? He's still really handling extremely nicely. He's just being inquisitive and jumpy. As he's a baby, I kind of expected that. But he's incredibly cute. I will try get some footage of him up close, but he's not very helpful. So, get off my finger, please. Don't start again. Sorry, that was me putting him away and sanitizing my hands again, which I did do before and after. This is pretty cheap stuff. It's easy. That'll be all he's out for the next 3 days, probably, as obviously feeding soon. But yeah, that was Astarot. I would highly recommend cornsnakes as a first pet, as a first reptile. They are extremely easy. But do be prepared that they're going to live anywhere between 15 to 20 years with the proper care. My light fell down, could you tell? So it's a long-term commitment. So if you're going to buy your kid or you're just someone who kind of wants a snake because they're cool, maybe rethink, because 20 years is a long time. I'm going to be almost 40 in 20 years. So some snakes is really likely are going to outlive you. I mean, if we do get, well, when we get a ball python eventually, they can live up to 40 years with the right care. To which I'll be almost 60. I'll be almost 70. So they can easily outlive you, depending on what age you get them. But yeah, simple, easy. Obviously this is my first video. I'm sure my partner will be in a couple. Hopefully more than a couple, because I'm awkward, as you can tell, and quite shit at this. But yeah, that's everything for now. This is Robin signing out. That wasn't awkward at all, was it? Till the next video, guys. Any social media you want will be in the description, but why you would want it at this point, I'm not quite sure.